It's so much easier to hear you. And that's okay, you can't see anything from the balloons. The balloons you can't see.
David, quiet now.
Anyways, I'm Antonia Loshik, Carl Biletski's daughter, and my husband's here, Mike, and my brother, Kat. So anyways, it's great to see all of you.
Actually, and I don't think that anyone is here from Nellie's family. Is anyone here from Nellie's side? No, I don't think so. Okay. Still waiting for Albert.
And my dad. Well, my dad is John Biletski, and my sister is at this end of the table, Marion Mann.
Stand up here.
And then Marion's daughter, Barbara Glenn Shaw. And then my dude over in the middle there, Shannon Marv Walczyk, Shannon's my daughter. Jim and Lori, my son Jim. And Colin and his girlfriend Wendy. I think I'll skip on people that aren't here from my side, like they missed out. This has been a real nice get-together. It's nice to see the people from out of town, and even the familiar faces. We don't see one another that often here. That's about all I can say, I guess.
You can sit around and sit in a hall this size with 150 other people and look at each other and smile and go, who the hell do you belong to? It's nice to know we're all family, isn't it? Albert, are you here? There he is.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Albert Biletski, son of Steve and Josephine Biletski. And my sister Olga is here, and brother Ed didn't make it from Mississauga. And I don't know, we've got 2 boys and 6 grandchildren. That's about all I have to say. I don't know what to that. Okay, Olga's family. There's her daughter Arlene and her husband Bill. And Alan and his wife Gloria. And their sister Debbie isn't here. And I don't know what Arlene's daughter is. Brenda. Oh, Arlene's daughter Brenda is here. Okay, thank you very much.
My name is Olga Jess. I'm here with my husband, and, well, he's someplace out there. And my daughter Dolores and her husband. I can't come, but I have 5 children, 17 grandchildren, and 15 great-grandchildren. And Henry and I will be married 50 years come June. Oh, this is wonderful. You're all my relatives.
Long, and I already know that Albert forgot his wife Gladys. Albert. Look at the size of these guys. from my grandmother's side, Marie Kioski, is my mom, Emily Forster.
Ever. Albert forgot Gladys, but he also forgot someone else in the family, and that's his sister-in-law, Vivian. Paul's wife, where are you, Vivian? And her family, Vivian, who are they?
Arden, Paul's son.
Arden?
Yeah.
And his family's, okay, sorry about that. Okay, I'm really so happy that you guys are all here. Debbie has worked very hard for this, and I've tried to help her a little bit I could. And she's really had an overload. And anyway, I'm Emily, and I belong to Peter and Marie. Mom's right over here. And I think I'll introduce my husband first. Glenn Forster, over there. And then Norman. Norman is next to me. So Norman and Ethel and Terry and Kenny. Would you stand up? And then Larry. And Larry was a real pain in the ass. He's 10 years younger than I am, and oh my God. Anyway, Larry and Janice and Jason, Lisa, and Amy. Okay, now I'll go to my family. Large? Yeah, they're pretty large. Here, he's coming, but he had to work this afternoon, so he will be here later. He's going to be playing up there after a while. Next, Grant first. Grant is our oldest, and his wife Linda, and their kids, Kelly, Tiffany, Zachary, and Cassidy. And then next to Garth, or to Grant, pardon me, is this one. This is David. And his fiancée, Laurel. They're going to be married next June. And Garth and his wife, Colleen, they just got married a year ago. And maybe some of you know Colleen's family. Her family originates from around here too. Who's that family? And who else, Colleen?
Biletski too.
On Biletski too, she says. So anyway. And as I say, Doug is not here, but he will be here. I'm going to do something. My kids said maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to do it anyway. I wrote a little... We have so got time. Are you bored? Yes? I don't care. The rest of them aren't bored. Okay, I wrote out a thing. It's called My Recollections. It's probably going to be boring for you younger guys, but for me, for Marion, for people that are more my age kind of thing. And I'm going to read it to you. Maybe, I know some of you have read it, but I'm going to read it anyway. And anyway, it's, okay, I'm extremely excited about our family reunion weekend and seeing people I have not seen in many years and also meeting new cousins, etc. And I've met an awful lot of new people, like you younger guys. And what a bunch of good-looking guys! Holy mackerel! Holy cow! Anyway, living away from Kenora all my life, it wasn't that far, but 45 years ago, a trip to Kenora from Jedburgh was a major trip. We planned for it weeks ahead of time, and especially until we had no car till I was about 13, so we had to depend on neighbors to bring us to visit. But anyway, I really don't remember Baba and Vito too well. My recollections of Baba are her laying in the bedroom with Uncle Joe and Auntie Elsie's at the farm. She usually had a quarter or a candy underneath her pillow for us. I believe I was about 5 or 6 when Gito passed away, and I can sort of remember his funeral. His body was laying in the front room of the house. Uncle Carl and Auntie Mary, I also really don't remember, as of their children. Antonia, I got to know after she got married and returned several times to visit. Bertha, I don't think I ever met. And Cass, oh, Cass, where are you, Cass? Where are you? Okay. I can remember, I carried around a picture of Cass in my wallet all through high school. Like, there's this good-looking cousin, and I got this picture, but I don't know if I ever met you, probably when I was 2 years old or something, but I carried this picture around and showed it to all my friends, like, here's this good-looking cousin that I've got, but he never came to visit, so my friends were always disappointed. So I'm really glad to see you. Okay. Auntie Auntie Kay and Uncle John heard Rush. I really didn't know that well either. Like a Winnipeg trip at that time was a long trip, and I did get to see them later on when I was a teenager probably, and I remember Auntie's house in Winnipeg. It was always full of crochet work and crafts and flowers and whatnot. And Steve, again, I don't remember, but I'm sure I must have met him somewhere along the line. Ollie and Henry and her family occasionally visited the farm, so we did get to know them. And Norman and Olga, Steve and Jean and their families also visited, so I'm a little more acquainted with them. And we went to Winnipeg to Norman and Olga's wedding, I can remember, and then a few years later they came to mine. And Auntie Nellie and Uncle John, what I really remember of Auntie Nellie is her house. It always smelled of disinfectant. You guys remember that? It always smelled of Pine Sol or Lysol or something. And she always had such nice flowers too. And Mike, I can remember Mike, he was this handsome man, and I can remember him visiting our place at the farm in his naval uniform, and he was just so handsome. Oh, you guys are all so handsome. Like, okay. Audrey was one of the younger girls, and I remember she used to follow us around. There's Vicky and Jean and I, and she used to follow us around all the time. We thought, oh God, this little kid. But mothers insisted, you gotta take her, so we took her. And then I took her for my bridesmaid when I got married a few years later. And Uncle Steve and Auntie Josie's house, that was really something. Norman and I, we loved to go there to visit. Because Albert, Paul, Olga, and Ed, they were so good to little kids. Like, they were just great. And they were older than us, but not that much older, Olga, I'm sorry. But, you were a little older. And they were really good to us. They'd bring out the instruments, and they'd sing, and we'd play, and sing, and tell jokes and stories. And Uncle Steve always had something new that he had built, and we always came home with something. And there's a few things on here that belong to Uncle Steve. And Auntie Josie always had baking she sent home. And all the guys used to tease us. Oh, God, did they tease us. Paul spent the summer with us. God, I wish he was here, because he spent the summer with us, and he worked at the farm. Not our farm, but he worked somewhere else. And it was a really hot July day, and Norman and I and two of the neighbor kids, we went swimming in the slough. We took off all our clothes. We were naked, swimming in the slough. And Paul came along. He sneaked up on us. He took our clothes. He hid them. I don't know where he hid them. But there we were, 4 little kids. We were 9 and 10 or something. And I don't remember how we ever found these clothes or where they were. But anyway, he did that. And the neighbor girl, Olga, still mentions this. Whenever I see her, she still mentions the stupid cousin of mine that took away our clothes. And later on, as Norman and I got a little bit older, they'd always sneak a little bit of booze for us. We'd go there for whatever, and they'd always sneak a little bit of whatever there was. We'd always get some. And Uncle John and Auntie Sophie's house, too, was a really good place to visit. And more good food there again. And Uncle John always called everybody darling. And he still does, right? And Mike again, too. I don't remember Mike that well, but I can remember, again, whoo, handsome guys, wow. And he was always quiet. Now Mary, I always looked up to Mary because she was the glamorous older cousin. And she always had good advice for me. This little kid, she always told me what I should do about boys, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She was experienced, you see. And she used to put makeup on me when Mother wasn't looking. That's when I was like real little, when I shouldn't have been using makeup. And Mary used to spend time with us at the farm, the occasional time she spent a week or a few days or whatever. And I remember the time that the army worms were really bad. And she took Norman and me for a walk along the road. And these stupid army worms were all over the place. And I was really scared. And they were stomping army worms and really having a good time. And I was really scared. I wasn't having anything of army worms. And they laughed and they laughed. And they thought I was really dumb, like really stupid, because I wasn't stomping army worms. Anyway, where am I here? And anyway, when I was 13, Mary really made my year, my day, whatever. She asked me to be her bridesmaid. And I was 13 years old, a fat little chubby girl, and I was her bridesmaid, and I was so happy. And I remember this 3-tiered blue dress that I just loved, and thank you, Mary. And Jim, of course, is one of the younger ones, so I don't remember Jim as well as I do the older ones, but oh boy, more good-looking people. Wow. And anyway, Jim, thank you. Where are you, Jim? Thank you for all the help with this. It's really appreciated. Okay, now, I know, are you getting bored? I don't know, how am I going to cue that? Okay, Uncle Joe and Auntie Elsie's farm was always a really good place to visit. It was food again, and Auntie Elsie always getting Jean, Judges, and Audrey and me to help with dishes and whatever, and we were never happy about that because we wanted to be out playing, never mind helping with dishes kind of thing. And Uncle Joe was great. He was so quiet, and pigeons. Remember Uncle Joe's pigeons? Every time we went to the farm, we brought more home. He'd load some more up in a cage or whatever, and we'd bring them home. Norman would bring them home, and he'd have all these pigeons. And then there came a time when there was too many pigeons. What are you going to do with them? They're not dying, you've got to eat them. So I remember my dad, these pigeons were up in the chicken barn loft thing, and he'd go up there with a flashlight at night. He's like, I guess you can't catch pigeons in the daytime or something, I don't know. But he'd go up there with a flashlight at night, and I'm sure he swore all the time he was up there, because he hated these stupid pigeons anyway. And he said they shit all over the place. He hated pigeons. But anyway, I liked pigeons, so I liked Uncle Joe, and they were just great people. Okay. And recently we were over at Carl's farm last year, I think it was, and I saw lots of pigeons, and I'm sure they were descendants of those long, long ago ones. I'm sure they have to be. We'll say they are anyway. Okay, I spent a lot of time, not a lot of time, some time going through the yard, and I really reminisce, okay. And I remember having tears in my eyes because I walked along, and this is where the summer kitchen used to be, and I can remember Auntie Victoria's wedding. And, see, I'm not Auntie Victoria, sorry. I can remember it. I can remember them doing the food and everything at the wedding, and I don't know, it just brought back an awful lot of memories, and the summer kitchen is gone now, wasn't there, but I walked through the house and picked up those religious pictures that are there, and apparently they hung in Grandma's room. I talked to Carl about it, and he wasn't sure where they were, but Auntie Vicky and somebody else said that they hung in Grandma's room. I think Debbie, you said that. Somebody said it anyway. Okay, Carl and Stanley, again, younger cousins, pain in the butt. They always followed us around. Them and Larry, we said. But you guys have really grown up into really handsome men, and your families are just wonderful, and I'm so happy to have met. Well, I think I met most of them. I hope I did. If I didn't, well, there's still time. Uncle Frank and Auntie Julia, I knew them better than most, along with Auntie Ann Jaworski. Uncle Frank and Dad, of course, as you all know, came from Poland together and married sisters. So we got to know them really well because the girls were the same age as Norman and I were, and we spent more time with them. I've got this little thing about Christmas Eve at Auntie Julia's rather. Just when they were still living here by Uncle Joe's, I guess, was it? Wherever. And I remember Uncle Frank and Dad getting together and singing Christmas carols, Polish Christmas carols. And they always sang so well together. And Miles, where's Miles? I'm sorry you weren't around to hear that. And that particular Christmas, my dad lost his car keys, and we're all looking for his car keys. Like, you know, where could he put these car keys? And he found them in his pocket. So I think they got into some Christmas cheer that year, and I think that was the only time we ever spent Christmas with any of the Biletskis, was that one particular year, and I must have been about 15 at the time. And I think my own kids know the Violet kids better than they do anyone else of their cousins, because they're approximately the same age, and David and Garth and Grant and Frank, Susan and Jackie did a bar thing one night in Esterhazy, and the younger ones, Doug and Noreen and Joanne, well, they're not here, but they had to stay home with the parents. And Uncle Sam and Aunt Tam, too, are better known to me because we kids were all approximately the same age, and we spent more time with them. And I remember their house in Burgess, but not too well, but I can remember the house in Saltwoods, and Auntie Ann was always crocheting and making quilts, and I always came home from her place with a new doily or something. And she made my bouquet when I got married. It was a bouquet of silk flowers, and she made them. And they were also witnesses at our wedding. And Vicky, Johnny, Norman and I were closer as cousins because we were the same age and we were friends. We weren't just cousins, we were good friends, and I hope we still are. Some of us are no longer here, but we were always friends. And Janet spent some time at the farm at Jedburgh, so I got to know her kind of as a little sister thing. And I was Vicky's bridesmaid when Vicky and Wilson got married. And I'm happy to say that 2 weeks ago we were in Edmonton to celebrate their 40th anniversary. Now that's a long time ago, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, finally we've got Auntie Vicky, and I can remember Uncle John and Auntie Vicky's wedding. I don't know how old I was, but I can remember Jaworski's, Judges, and the Kielskis. We had a really good time because we were all these little kids. And I think we might have had some wedding refreshments. Maybe that's why I remember it. I don't know. And Auntie Vicky spent time with us before she was married. She babysat us, Norman and I, when Larry was born. So I'm sure she could tell you an awful lot of stories. But don't bother, it's okay. And the kids, Frances and Gerald, I remember as little tiny kids because they're that much younger. And I remember Frances being very talkative and Gerald was very quiet. Is it still the same? Okay. This part, like this is to me is very important. Like I can remember most of these people coming to visit us at the farm and how nice it would be on a Sunday morning to see a car drive in and somebody would say, Uncle and Auntie so-and-so are here. There was always lots of food for everyone everywhere. There was always lots of visiting, kissing, etc. The women would get a meal on, do dishes, walk through the gardens, flower gardens, compare notes, share plants, etc. The men usually sat and talked, walked around the farm, talked cattle and crops. We kids, we always had something to do. Play in our bush playhouses, play ball, do our pretend things. And as we got older, we did our other pretend things. And my family, okay, I've introduced them, haven't I? Yes, I have. But anyway, I got married in 1956, and all my kids are here, except for Doug, but as I say, he is coming. And I hope this reunion brings back a lot of fond memories and creates new memories and friendships. Perhaps the next generation can get together after we're gone and do their own reminiscing of good times and bad. And to those who are attending, thank you for coming, your interest and your help. This is the first effort we've had at something like this. And if things are not done quite like people think they should be, well, please bear with us. The organizers have done the best they can with limited time and limited funds. And to those who are not able to attend, we're sorry you couldn't be here, perhaps another time. Thank you.
Man, I thought I was a little more word. Okay, from Aunt Julia's side, Miles Biletski, where is he? Hey, he's outside having a cigarette. Here he comes.
Hi, I'm Miles Biletski and eldest grandson of Frank and Julia and Vijik. And I assure you my speech will be a lot shorter. I sure wish that Frank and Julie could have been here, and my mom as well. I know they would have enjoyed this. And I'll start by introducing my family. I'm here with tonight my wife Kathy, son Matt and Michael. My second oldest, Matthew, he's a white Catholic. And my youngest, Carly, she's up here. I was born in Florence, Saskatchewan about 1959, and we moved to Alberta shortly after. I presently reside there with my family just outside of Edmonton, and my other brothers and sisters are also there, as well as my father. My Auntie Jean, which is my mom's sister, is presently in Winnipeg. She couldn't be here tonight, along with her 5 grandchildren. And I guess that's about it. I'm glad to see everybody here tonight and meet you all.
Little Joe's side, Brent Biletski.
Good evening, I'm Brent Biletski. I guess first of all I should have introduced my clan. I'm descendant of, my grandfather was Joe Biletski and his wife was Elsie.
No. It'll just say pause and record.
My dad is Carl Biletski and his wife Faye Biletski. They're right at the back of the hall. I guess then there's me,
now it should say recording.
my wife Audrey and my son Aaron at the back. My brother Barden, his fiancée Shelley, and their little girl Serena. And an expected one on the way.
Now it says recording.
My next brother would be Joel, and his
All you have to do is just put the
fiancée Lisa, and their little boy Cody. And my youngest brother Keith. Short one in the family. Then next I'd like to introduce Uncle Stan's family. He was Ito's, I should say, my grandfather's other son. Uncle Stan and Celia. Their oldest son, Evan, and his wife, Connie, and their little boy, Sean. Then there's Earl and Marcia. Sheila and Jerry talking. Candace and Kelvin Zermiak. And first, most importantly, Carlene. I'd also like to make a short mention here of someone on Uncle Steve's family, Arden Biletski and his wife Gayleen, and their clan. There's Chris, Ryan, Jordan, and Kelsey. Arden's just like one of my brothers. He grew up just a mile away on the farm, and he was over all the time in the wintertime playing hockey. And so I want to make a good mention to him. Thank you very much.
And thanks. Who is it, Brent? Oh, sorry. Actually, I remember a story when my grandfather was alive. I remember a story my grandfather used to talk about my Uncle Norman. And my Uncle Norman went to school one day and it was very late for school. Really late. The teacher says, Norman, you're very late for school. Do you have a good excuse? And he said, yeah. He said, I had to take the bull to the cow. And the teacher said, well, couldn't your father do it? And Uncle Norman said, hell no, it'd have to be the bull. True story, right, Grandma? From my aunt Anne's side, I like to call him Nicky Cameron.
Hi, I'm Vicki Kammer. I would like you to meet my husband Wilson, and my daughter and her husband Ken, and their daughter Gail, and also my brother-in-law Leonard, and my granddaughter Shelley. I'm very happy to be here. There's a lot of people that I haven't seen for years, and I must say I wish the rest of my family was here, but unfortunately they're not. And I would like everybody to give a hand of applause to Debbie and Emily and everybody else who took part in this. This is very nice.
Until October, but 2 weeks ago we were in Edmonton to help them celebrate a surprise barbecue, and Wilson had this idea that it'd be nice to have a second or third or fourth honeymoon, whatever it is, probably about sixth, I would think, eh? Anyways, he rents a room at the most poshest hotel in Edmonton and goes up there and says to the guy that he would like a room, and the guy says, I'm sorry, we're full, but we do have the honeymoon suite. And Wilson kind of chuckles and says, son, I've been married 40 years, I really don't need the honeymoon suite. The guy says, well, that's all we have to rent. And Wilson kind of chuckles again and says, look, I don't really need the honeymoon suite. I've been married for 40 years. And the desk guy kind of got a little excited and said, look, buddy, I can rent you the Dodger Stadium, but you don't have to play ball in it. So congratulations on the coming up. And last but not least, on Auntie Victoria's side is Frances Bartko.
Hello, I'm very happy to be here. First of all, I'd like to introduce my mom, Victoria. And I'd like to introduce my husband, Jack. Patrick and Carmen could not be here today, and I'm really sorry about that. They would have met a lot of the family. I'd like to also introduce my brother, Gerald, his wife, Doris, and niece, Brad, and Colleen Weedman. Thank you.
Families. Has anybody ever wondered though, like, no one really knows how to truly spell the name Biletski. If you look, there's 10 different spellings for 10 different siblings. So before we leave this weekend, would you guys straighten that out? If you really look, no one spells that thing the same way. So there's, what we'd like to do now is introduce the oldest and the youngest member in attendance. And I believe the youngest member we have is 6-month-old Aaron Biletski. The oldest member we have is Uncle John Biletski. For everybody who brought memorabilia and photographs and whatever, we thank you very much. It's always nice to look at the old photographs and some of the memorabilia to look back at our ancestors, our descendants. I know it's nice to look at pictures of my grandparents, their wedding, and what they looked like when they were a lot younger. So third and fourth generations, it's always nice to see. We have a bunch of special thank yous. This won't take too long. It won't be like my mother. It won't be long-winded. First of all, actually, as I call you up, would you just kind of stand up and just kind of stay there so we can see what you look like, just in case we missed you? And be who... No. First of all, my Aunt Deb Biletski, Marie's daughter. Deb, would you please stand up? This lady, basically, someone needed to take the bull by the horns, and Deb opted to do that, and she became a real spark plug to fire up everyone over the reunion. It was Deb who took the initiative and started the wheels going. Her never-ending enthusiasm and constant hounding of everybody made the reunion happen. It also helps when you have a good government job and have nothing else to do but without Deb and her enthusiasm, August 13th, 94 would not have happened. On behalf of all the relatives, Deb, thank you very much for bringing us here. Jim Biletski, Uncle John's son, where are you? Stand up here. Jim did all the signage. Everybody see that one dinky little ass sign? Right? Yeah, I mean, it's good. You could probably use that when we're crawling back to Kenora after a few years. Maybe a little higher next time. Jim also looked after the carting of the water, and he found the barbecue grill. He was also the first one to volunteer when something had to be done. If no one else would take the job, Jim would look after it. So thank you very much, Jim, for your help. Frances Bartko, Vicky's daughter. Frances did all the shopping and the organizing of the pancake breakfast for tomorrow morning. No? Pardon me? Oh, well, if you get poisoned, it's Frances's. If it was good, give somebody else that pancake. But thank you, Frances, for all your work. Grant Forster, Marie's grandson, in the back there. Grant did all the computer work and put up with my mom's constant wheeling and hounding. I'm proud of you, bro. Anybody that can do that for a whole length of time, right on, man. Evan Biletski, Joe's grandson. Evan, where are you? There he is. I understand he's got a wonderful fireworks display planned for later on. You have one, don't you? Okay, what time do you want to do that? We should plan that.
Yeah, later.
10, before the little kids go to bed? Okay, well, we'll leave it up to Evan to plan and we'll get out there. Garth Forster, Marie's grandson. He's going to be our music man a little bit later on, wherever he's at. We also got Glenn Forster and Garth Forster and Doug Forster and Jack Bartko. They're going to be our live entertainment. We also invite anybody who plays or sings to join along with them. We're going to have a real fun time. Last but not least, Connie Biletski. Where are you, Connie? This is Joe's granddaughter by marriage. Connie had the availability of using the provincial library and archives to work on the family tree. She arranged for the making of the t-shirts and the mugs. Speaking of which, the t-shirts, do you think next time you can get some real man sizes? There's, as you see now, like you'll need that next time. She was also so proud of designing the logo. Who's got one of those t-shirts? Just stand up so we can all have a look. There we go. Shelley, you got one. See that logo on there? She was so dang proud of that. She goes to Vicky and she goes, oh my God, I just designed this logo. It's so nice. What do you think of this Ukrainian logo? And Vicky says, that's really good, but we're Polish. But a nice job, Connie. It was very well done. Basically, Connie fell in where they needed it, and she was considered the go-for girl. And thank you very much, Connie. You did a lot of work and very much appreciated.
Yeah.
Okay, the bar, we're going to move over, we're going to have a dance on the other side, the bar is going to be open. We'd like everybody who feels like it just to take a turn working at the bar for a while, for half an hour or so. It's just kind of volunteer labor, so if you'd like to fill in and feel free, just hop in behind there and relieve somebody else and do some work. Tomorrow's activities that are planned, anybody who's golfing, I think Jim, you're planning some sort of golfing, is it?
Not really.
Not really?
Also was supposed to be out with us.
Uh-oh.
Anybody want to play golfing?
I don't know if they're expecting us though,
I think they're expecting. Do you know what time?
whenever we get there.
Okay, maybe if we want to golf or something, we can meet at the golf course by 9:30 or what time do they do it? 9 o'clock? We'll meet there at 6 o'clock and then we can come and have pancakes at 10. I mean, 9:30, would that be fine, Jim, do you think? 9:30 at the golf course, would that be all right? Why don't we say, anybody who's interested in golfing, let's meet at the golf course at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Okay, if you're interested in golfing, that's at the Kenora course. Ball games. Anybody interested in playing ball? Would someone like to volunteer to look after that? Anybody brought ball gloves, bat and ball? It'd be nice to have bat and ball if we're going to play ball. Well, we can plan that a little later. Carl, I understand you're going to allow people to come and visit the homestead if anybody's interested. So if you're interested to find out where it actually is or to see it, just talk to Carl in the back. He'll set something up or tell you what's a good time. Hate to catch him in his skivvies. Yep, they're doing the weeding in the garden with his underwear on or something. Be surprised what you can do on the farm. I remember we used to go to the farm. It was a real chore to go up behind the granary and take a leak. That was the greatest thing. Oh, it was great. It was excellent. And the pancake breakfast. What time? What time are you going to start? 10? 10 o'clock? When was lunch? 6 o'clock would be more comfortable for us golfers. Okay, 10 o'clock I guess. We're going to have pancakes and that's here in the hall? 10 o'clock till what? 10 after 10? So be here at 10? Don't want to take it on all night. Did you see those two guys doing the barbecuing? Len and my dad Len and Uncle Norman Kioski. Looking at those two barbecuing, that's like you leaving a fox in charge of the chicken coop. Right? No doubt. I must say, Dad, you look slim and trim just like that fox. I have a couple of other things, just some observations I made today. I'm such an observant fellow. But I am, trust me. Actually, I came in here, I was late, but I noticed that every time that someone new came in, Marion Mann cried. She started to bawl as soon as someone new came in. I don't know this thing. Oh my God, I'm here. But it's so nice to have those sentimental people here. Everybody who made lots of phone calls during this time. Debbie, maybe everybody doesn't know, works for SaskTel. She's been with SaskTel for 32 years. Oh, 21, sorry. It was close. She's been there so darn long, she almost owns the company. But anyway, she's arranged with her boss for rebates on your long distance bills. So just submit all your bills to Deb, and we'll get some rebates on it, okay? Well, I think with that, we've probably just about done it. It's fairly warm in here, and we can probably pack out and get some fresh air. Once again, thank you to all the people that organized. Thank you to the people who asked me to be the MC. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you, and look forward to moving over in the other hall, having a few drinks, and then watching what happens to the pancakes tomorrow morning. Thanks very much.
and then have the tail. Mm-hmm.
Remember when we were kids, when my dad used to take us to Melville all the time. Melville had the fireworks every Sunday night. We used to always go. I remember as kids.
Oh, that was nice.
Really hear the bass.
Won't you sing?
Ken, you got $5?
No.
You sure? Yeah. Anyway, Grant, we're probably available for the Lions dance in the fall there. We probably have a booking open there. Yeah, we don't have too many, so we're probably open.